You wake up and your phone is already full. Texts, messages, notifications, people wanting answers, attention, energy. You feel drained, but still you reply. You don't want to seem rude. You don't want to disappoint anyone. So you stay reachable, always available, always responding. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become invisible. The more you show up for everyone, the less they value your presence. The more available you are, the more they take you for granted. That's the trap. And it's not your fault. It's how human nature works. People respect what they can't always access. It's unfair, but it's real. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." And that includes using others as a distraction. When you are always reachable, you become the one they call when they don't want to deal with themselves. You become the escape, not the person, not the soul, just the option. And when they're done with their storm, they leave you in your silence, drained, confused, forgotten. This is where many people live, between being needed and being ignored, between being wanted in moments of crisis and forgotten in moments of peace. And it hurts. But what if you stopped being so easy to reach? What if you stopped explaining yourself all the time? What if you didn't reply right away? What if your time, your space, your energy were no longer up for grabs? Everything would change. You would stop attracting chaos and start attracting respect. You would stop being the emergency number for people who wouldn't pick up for you. You would stop feeling like your kindness is being traded for convenience. Because when you create space, you create clarity. And people can finally see who you are, not just what you do for them. There is something powerful about being unavailable, not as a game, not as revenge, but as a way to protect your energy. When you stop being easy to reach, you give yourself permission to grow. You finally have time to think, reflect, rest. You begin to hear your own thoughts again. You stop moving to other people's rhythms and start dancing to your own pace. And that is when your life begins to feel different, not louder, not busier, just more yours. Most people fear silence because silence reveals truth. But if you can sit with your silence long enough, you'll realize the truth is that not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. You're not cold for stepping back. You're not rude for saying no. You're not selfish for protecting your peace. You're growing. You're learning. You're becoming stronger. And that means you must change the way you move, the way you speak, the way you respond, the way you let others treat you. When you're always available, people forget your value. When you step back, people remember your presence. The most respected people are not always present. They are intentional. They are rare. They are grounded because they are not pulled in every direction. They are not owned by their phone, their inbox, or the expectations of others. They are centered, and that's why people listen when they speak. That's why their silence speaks louder than most people's words. Being hard to reach doesn't mean disappearing. It means showing up on purpose. It means being where your soul is respected. It means giving your energy to things that matter. It means knowing the difference between being needed and being used. And most importantly, it means you no longer define yourself by how often you show up for others. You define yourself by how deeply you show up for yourself. Human nature is wired to chase. The more someone pulls away, the more others are drawn in. But you don't need to pull away to play games. You just need to honor your energy. Because when people know they can't reach you every time they want to, they start choosing their words carefully. They start respecting your space. They start seeing you not as a tool, but as a human being with limits. And that's when everything starts to shift. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to post to prove your worth. You don't have to explain every move to be understood. Your peace is your power. Your silence is your strength. Your distance is your protection. You don't owe everyone access. You don't owe everyone an answer. And you don't owe anyone your constant presence. Some things are sacred. Your energy is one of them. And once you stop being so easy to reach, the world around you will start treating you differently. And that is when your healing begins. So, if this message already speaks to something deep inside you, if you've been feeling tired, used, drained, or forgotten, then you need to hear this loud and clear. You're allowed to disappear from the noise to reconnect with your power. You're allowed to step away from the crowd to rediscover your peace. You are allowed to become hard to reach so you can become impossible to replace. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I will protect my energy at all costs. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Comment your truth and subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, don't skip any part of this video, because what you'll hear next will change how you think, how you love, and how you protect yourself from now on. Number 1. The illusion of constant connection. We live in a world where being connected is easy. A message can reach someone in seconds. A photo can be shared instantly. A voice note can carry feelings across thousands of miles. We are more reachable than ever before. But even in this world full of fast connections, people feel more alone than ever. This is not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's the cost of living in a world that confuses noise with care and attention with love. The truth is, being constantly connected does not mean you are truly seen or valued. In fact, it often hides the opposite. It hides how easily people forget the meaning of presence. When someone always replies, always answers, always shows up, people start to treat that presence like background noise, something always there, something they don't need to earn, something they can interrupt, use, and leave whenever it suits them. That's not connection, that's consumption. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from being alone, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important." Think about that. You can be texting someone all day and still feel completely unseen. You can have hundreds of people watching your stories and still feel completely ignored. You can be in a crowded group chat and still feel like you are screaming into silence. That's what constant connection does. It fools you into thinking you're not alone, when in reality, no one is actually listening. No one is actually present. No one is actually holding space for who you really are. There is a strange pain in being easy to reach, because people come to you when they're bored, when they're sad, when they want to vent. But they don't always come with care. They don't always check on you. They don't always ask how you are. They assume you're strong. They assume you're available. They assume you'll keep giving, no matter how tired you are. You become the comfort in their storm. But when the skies clear, they forget you were there. They forget your silence. They forget your sleepless nights. They forget your effort. This is the part no one talks about. The loneliness of being the one who is always reachable, always replying, always listening. Over time, you begin to notice something strange. The more you reply, the more people expect it. The more available you are, the less special your time feels to them. You start to feel like a machine, answering, explaining, reacting, trying to keep up, trying to be everywhere. But deep down you feel empty, because all this connection is not feeding your soul, it's draining it. You begin to feel like your worth is tied to how fast you respond, how often you check in, how much you show up. But that's not love. That's pressure. That's survival. And it leaves no space for peace. People won't say it, but they start to look at you differently when you're always around. You stop being the person they admire. You become the person they assume. Your value fades into the background. They stop choosing you because they believe they already have you. And the more you offer, the less they ask how you feel. Because in their eyes, you've made yourself too easy. You've given too much, and they no longer see the difference between your real care and their convenience. When you are always connected, you stop protecting your space. And when your space is no longer protected, anyone can enter. People with bad intentions, people with no respect, people who are only there to take. And you may not notice it at first, but your peace begins to vanish. Your mind becomes loud, your heart becomes heavy. You feel tired, not from doing too much, but from giving too much of yourself to people who do not give back. That is the illusion of constant connection. It looks full, but feels empty. It looks active, but feels ignored. It looks busy, but feels lonely. You are not supposed to be available to everyone all the time. That is not strength. That is a slow form of self-destruction. It is a life where your value becomes tied to how others use you, not how you honor yourself. That is not what your life is meant to be. Your presence is sacred. Your energy is sacred. Your attention is sacred. And it should only go where it is respected, not where it is expected. Being harder to reach doesn't make you distant. It makes you powerful. It gives you space to choose who you allow into your life. It gives you time to understand your own thoughts, your own dreams, your own voice. It reminds people that your presence is not promised. It is earned. It teaches others that you are not just a message away. You are a person with boundaries, a person with a soul, a person who deserves rest. The illusion of constant connection is this. It makes you believe that being present for others will bring you peace. But true peace doesn't come from being reachable. It comes from being respected. It comes from being understood. It comes from being valued, not for how much you give, but for who you are. And when you start to step back from being constantly connected, you start to feel that peace again. You start to see who checks in when you're silent, who listens when you speak gently, who stays when you stop overgiving. You begin to find strength in your silence. You begin to find peace in your absence. You begin to feel powerful in your decision to stop being everywhere. And that is when real connection begins. Not through constant talking, not through endless updates, but through mutual respect, through shared silence, through chosen presence. You do not have to explain why you need space. You do not have to apologize for not replying fast. You do not have to feel guilty for turning off your phone, for stepping away, for protecting your soul. You are not a signal. You are not a service. You are a human being, and you deserve the right to disconnect in order to heal. If you've ever felt exhausted by always being reachable, I want you to know, you are not weak. You are just waking up to the truth. And the truth is, not everyone should have access to your energy. Not everyone should get to interrupt your peace. Not everyone deserves your immediate attention. You do not have to give what costs you your soul. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I'm not easy to reach. I'm hard to forget. Number 2. How availability dilutes respect. Respect is something we all want, but few people understand where it comes from. It does not come from being nice all the time. It does not come from saying yes to everything. And it definitely does not come from being available whenever someone calls your name. In fact, the more available you are, the less people tend to value your time. The more you are around, the easier it becomes for people to take you for granted. This is not because you are not worthy. It's because human nature works in strange ways. We respect what we have to earn. We treasure what we cannot always reach. And we learn to appreciate what comes with boundaries. When you are always available, people forget to notice your effort. They stop seeing your time as a gift. They start thinking they are entitled to your energy. They believe you owe them your attention. And once they believe that, they stop thanking you. They stop checking on you. They stop respecting the weight you carry. Your presence turns into something expected, not something honored. And little by little, they stop seeing the value in you. Think about someone who always answers their phone right away.